Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I Bancroft Jones again by Jimmy, and like always, Fluff.
How unfortunate.
What's up, beautiful people?
And today's matchup is me versus Jimmy. Previously we had Jimmy make Whis. He's like, nah, I'm over this. So I built Whis and brought it, and Jimmy's like, I'm buying two ultimate decks and throwing them together. Side note, for those of you who have not even thought about buying Cell, do it. It's like the Toa decks. You could just buy two, throw it together, throw in like 4 more cards, and you're good to go. It's ridiculous.
You can have a competitively viable deck with 2 ultimate decks and like 4 dormants.
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to make this deck competitively viable.
So let's get into today's matchup.
So talk about this this blue piece of shit.
So I'm gonna disagree with you.
You know I'm right.
But Whis, in my opinion, isn't one of the strongest decks from this last set we got. You, in my honest opinion, and I think everyone agreed as well, you need the promos to make this deck to some degree viable because it can free play. And this is not the Whis promo, but the Beers promo, because the Beers promo will play the 4-drop easier for you for no energy cost. And then from there you get, like, I think you maximize on 2 draws, and then it's a double strike. You can swing your opponent's lead. But I forgot what Cell could do, and I didn't realize how much of an uphill battle this was going to be for me. Because perfect turn 1 here is play the Whis, which searches the top 3 cards. You also die, pull the blue-yellow Beerus into my hand. Next turn, I charge a card, I tap 2, I play that Beerus, and I'm good to go from that point on. The problem is that Cell has the ability to just pop cards on its activate main, which I think on his activate main is put a card underneath it, then pop a card.
Yeah, so it's activate main, pitch 1 under, draw a card, and then blow up something 3 or less.
Okay.
And which plays in well because his awaken, if you have 3 or more cards under him, you can just awaken early. So it feels really good because you can sometimes get some like turn 2 awakens with this deck, and also have like some massive pressure with like your 3-drop 18-17. You can blow up cards and go into your Cell chain. Like it's just so much value off of it, and all you're doing is pitching a single card. So that's what I did right there. I just pitched 1 under him, blew up your Whis, and got my draw, and I still had my swing as well.
Yeah, and like I said, from that point on, I was like, this is going to be the most uphill battle I think I've ever had to play against. And so I decided to combo off your attack a skillless battle card, because like you said, you can awaken once you get 3 cards into there, and Whis can awaken either at 3 life or when your opponent's awakened. But on the backside, you can no longer search a card from your deck. You have to play them from your drop area to your opponent's field. So I wanted to make sure I had a card at least there when I was ready to go for it.
Which is such a weird change, because usually like when a leader awakens, it broadens what it can do. Where this just kind of like narrows it down, and it's like if you have a bad early start, like you kind of just can't do your main effect once you awaken. It's very odd. Like it feels like Bandai really thought this deck was going to be something, and it just turned out to just be nearly nothing. One thing I was worried about is because all of your monocolored Beeruses cannot be KO'd on your turn. Which, going into it, I was thinking, oh, you're playing, 2-drops. That's fantastic for me. I have Dormants in my list. So you're never going to swing with a 2-drop, and then I have to remind myself, oh yeah, they could not be KO'd during your turn. Which I don't know why that just didn't give the card barrier. Which I think the main idea is that it protects it from revenge.
Yeah.
Which is kind of relevant in this matchup because of the unison, but revenge is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Such a rare skill to find that I don't think it's all that necessary. I feel like barrier would have done the cards much, much better.
I'm going to put a yes and no on that, because Cell had the ability to get a board very nicely going. Very cheaply, too. Like, yes, there are limited ones you can't, like, spam every turn, but I think this is the 5, is it 4 or 5 has barrier, right?
4. the 4-drop has barrier, and then the 8-drop has its own protection that it's removed by skill. It can pitch 2 under it to the drop area, which can actually be pretty decent. There's been some times where my opponent has tried to remove my 8-drop, and I was able to pitch a 17 and 18 to the drop area that I did not have, so that I could go up another chain on another cell.
And here, I was just trying to protect myself as much as possible by burning the super combo, because, yeah, getting more cards in my hand would be nice, but at the same time, this is our first round, and I remember seeing the sale cards. I didn't really picture what it could do, and already you kind of showed me that how quickly you could get tall battle cards out. And I think it's just from this point on, one more green energy will bring the 8-drop out.
Yeah, one green energy is required to pitch an 18 under the 4-drop and then bring out the 8-drop from the deck or drop area. Which this deck can actually go off a little bit earlier. This is literally the first time I've ever played this deck. Like, I sleeved up the deck before the tournament, so I was kind of playing it safe, and I didn't want to overextend on my resources. And I thought, I'm not going to activate Union until I have my Unison out, so I, at minimum, get 2 draws off of playing this 4-drop cell.
So, 2 things. The 3 cards I whiffed on, 2 of them were Deborah's. But this right here play, very cheeky, because the way counterplay is phrased. I declare playing a card by leader's ability, even though it's playing on your field, you're able to counterplay because I'm playing the card. And from there, you shut down another Whis play.
Yep.
And I couldn't even Zamasu it because Zamasu affects 4 or less.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I had played Whis a little bit. You mentioned it before that I just have zero interest in touching this deck after playing it. I do think the new promo from the next set of promo cards actually kind of makes the deck interesting. But I knew that Whis is like the most important card in the entire deck, and it had to stay off the field.
Yeah.
Because that Whis is just your biggest advantage play no matter what.
Yes. Because it also, in this case, unlike Grand Priest, which is activate battle once you awaken with him, this Whis is just activate main. So, and it's not a once per turn activate main, it's just you activate main, tap it, draw a card. So the Whis, you just reset it, activate main again, draw another card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this 8-drop cell is kind of really good, surprisingly. Like, at my first read over it, I was like, this card is not great. It's neat, but it's not very good. But after playing it and seeing its application, it's really, really solid. So it's a 20k blocker. Obviously, it's a multicolor, so it has energy exhaust. Has the permanent that I spoke about before that you can pitch 2 from under it to keep it alive if it's attempted to remove by skill. And it has activate battle where you can pitch 1 card from under him to restand him. So he can either be a dual attacker or a dual blocker on your opponent's turn. Just does a lot of work. Great pressure option as quickly as it comes out, because 20k dual attacker that early is kind of difficult to deal with in a lot of situations. And this card coming out on turn 2 in some cases is pretty good. And here I'm just starting another cell chain.
Because the 17s and 18s that are pulled are either from your hand or drop area, right?
Yeah, they come from the hand or drop.
Yeah. So even though I know I couldn't Zamasu, sorry, it's a 4-drop, so I could Zamasu the 4-drop,
yeah.
Which was nice, and I was able to tap down the 8-drops just so I wouldn't get that extra pressure. You wouldn't have a blocker on field.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about it, though, I think the activate battle, it's just activate battle. I don't think it declares on whose turn, right?
Does not.
So you could activate it if I were to declare an attack at you to have a blocker for another attack afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is once per turn, though, and I've already restood it, so I would have to do that on your next turn.
Yes.
But still, I'm feeling very solid here. Like, I've kept you off of your early Beerus plays. I'm still at 5 life. I am kind of flooded with super combos right now, which kind of feels bad because I am at 5 life. But I do know I have that safety net below me if anything wild happens. Of course, it cannot be KO'd, so I was sitting here debating on like, oh, I can just charismatic that. I got this, and lo and behold, that does not matter.
So here I declare the Swing of Unison, knowing that if you were a dormant, my cards are fine.
Mm.
And I just super combo to tap down. I think I tap down your freeze because it's a 10k.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think, and when you played Whis, this is where you kind of explained that some of the plays just feel kind of pointless in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't play Zamasu in the deck, but I wanted to get stuff out on the board for future plays. So here, you declare no negate. I use the auto to combo with the 4-drop to draw me a card.
Mm.
I think I Sensu Bean, and you're kind of let me take something back because I accidentally restored the wrong card. I just grabbed the top one and meant to grab for the Whis. Because if I were to able to KO this card, which I just comboed a shit ton, I could resend a Blue Beerus card off the Whis' auto. So you let me take back the card that would have initially restored from Sensu Bean.
And I knew that was going to be a completely fine play because this deck kind of does nothing. So,
well,
I know what the deck can do, and I did not feel bad letting that happen. Of course, it's just a simple mistake, so who gives a fuck? It's locals.
And truth be told,
we're not playing a PPG 5K.
The 4-drop doesn't have the protection like the 2-drop does. So like you could have played a Frieza on me.
Mm-hmm.
So here, since I had 4 energy, I was able to pay for the Vegeta. I was going to clear out the some card underneath your cell, and I think get rid of the 1-drop cell, so that way it kind of slows your chain down. And then you freeze that, and that's when you killed the 4-drop. So,
well, I knew you weren't going to be able to attack again this turn due to dormant.
Yeah.
So I knew I was going to be able to deal with the 4-drop on my turn anyway. But after seeing the Vegeta come down, I was like, okay, now that's my new target for my leader ability, and I'm just going to go ahead and blow out the charismatic, the 4-drop, so I just don't have to worry about it at all. And
it was such a great play because, like, with this leader, like you said, it can KO anything if you pitch 2 cards, but not just that. It gets crit. It gets a 5k boost off that as well. Mm-hmm. Just a beautiful, phenomenal power, which you could easily regain 2 cards in the same turn by paying 1 energy instantly of your leader.
Mm-hmm. And being able to pitch 2 out from under it also just fills your drop area with your targets, your cell targets, and your fusion targets, which is great because they're all androids, and you're going to be pitching androids anyway. So it's almost like playing this deck just feels like a well-oiled machine. Like there's nothing that you can do in the deck that feels bad to do, which is kind of interesting. And not many decks have this same kind of cycling and like pure advantage feel that this particular cell list does.
Yeah.
And of course, big baby hatch play. Did feel bad because I was going to try to put quite a bit of pressure on you this turn. Try to at least clear off that Beerus by attacking into it. But having the hatch come down was really solid.
You had a board, and if you were able to establish another 8-drop on the board as well, they'll give you an activate battle, so you could just resand it right off the bat. Part of me doesn't know if that was the right call, but it definitely was a safe call. Like I knew I could be protected, and I just got either take care of your current board to some degree or add a bunch of pressure. But once again, that's hard to do against green because green has dormant, green has the Bupo, green has the homicidal clones, which every color does. But I mean, you have a lot of good negates that can protect you. Which all those negates come with the ultimate deck, I think, except for dormant.
Yeah, dormant's the only one. It comes with homicidal.
And they're hollow.
It comes with charismatics. Like We said this before when the Toa list come out, that Toa is one of the like most valuable products. Like value wise, it's one of the best products you can buy in the game as a new player, and even for returning players, because who doesn't want Hollow Topos? Like it's the same exact thing with this Cell list. Like there's so many good cards in this list. They're all hollow. It's a good deck to boot. Like I love this, and I hope Bandai keeps doing these. And it's looking like we're getting like one a year, which is awesome. Like I'm really excited to see the next one, and I also like that they're using this as to reboot older decks that were popular early on. So again, it's another thing for existing players that have been playing the game that want to go back to this Cell leader.
Yeah. So real quick, we'll cover that what just happened there. The promo Beerus states, unfortunately, you have to combo with I think a blue Beerus with a combo cost of 1. Does it say up to 1? Mm-hmm. So the one I went to go combo with didn't have a combo cost of 1, so we just took that back.
Yeah.
Which actually, even though this is probably the best card for the deck is this promo card, that kind of hurts a little bit. I mean, I know it's meant to combo the 4-drop out so you can play the 4-drop, but at the same time, like the fact that I couldn't combo just a freely card, granted you negate the attack anyways, I was trying to cycle a card out of my hand to draw another one.
Of course.
Yeah, this big boy. So,
of course.
I had in my hand a good amount of protection, which could stop these 2 quad strikes. And hopefully from that point on I can just defend myself. But you also will get the -7 on your Vegito, which hurts. And I think you did hit one of my Dimension Magics here. Yeah, and a super combo.
Mm-hmm.
And here I had to choose, okay, 3 more cards. There was confusion here. You thought you had to pick for a second, but we corrected, and I ended up discarding those 3 cards again anyways.
Yeah, that was just me skimming over the card and going like, I was like, blah, 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 choose 1 card in your opponent's life, then then it was like, then 3 cards go to the drop area. I'm like, okay, so I get to choose those 2, but after rereading it, that was incorrect. This Vegito Unison's busted as fuck. Like, Jesus Christ, who thought this was a good idea?
So here, by the fate of it, guys, my 1 life card was a Grand Priest Unison, where I was able to tap 5 to warp your entire reality.
Exactly,
and
it's perfect force. You had the perfect play. I got the perfect force. Play perfect force. You drop down to 3. You didn't have 3 cards in hand, so that makes a rolling null, and you just lose the game. I'm sorry. It's just how it is. It's a skill difference.
And that's what happened. I lost the game. Jimmy won. And hope you enjoyed today's video as much as I did. With that being said, Fluff, you would like to let us out?
Yeah, that was stupid. Read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and Fluff out.